we created phrases. In fact, we created all the 4 data objects. I started from creating the phrase library, then I created the phrase group, and then we created phrase set, and finally phrases. And apart from that, I was also telling you about the custom phrase. Custom phrase in the sense when there are already available phrases and you want to create one additional phrase to be used in that specification, we call that as a custom phrase. Let me log in. So for example, in the specification, you take any specification. This for example, and let's assume you want to add or use any yesterday what example I took. Okay, fine, can be anything, no problem. Let's say in the handling and storage you want to create one new phrase. Okay, so advice on safe handling. If you go to these options, there are some phrases and you can assign any of these phrases. All these are different phrases that you can use for advice under safe handling. Now, let's assume if you don't find a phrase which you want to use, it can be anything, any phrase. If you don't find, then we have to create that phrase by going to CG12. But before we do that, I told you we have to know the other 3 data objects. Only then you can create a phrase. Directly going and creating a phrase is not possible. Even though you may do it possible, but that phrase will not be appearing here. So not only creating phrase, you should also ensure that whatever phrase you are creating, that is available in the options. Otherwise, there is no use of creating any phrase. So simply going and creating phrase using CG12, it will allow you to create a phrase, but it will not come here in this place. So therefore, what you have to do is you have to know the other 3 unknown variables: phrase library, phrase group, and phrase set. Until and unless you don't know these other 3, then you cannot create a phrase. Okay, so how do you do that? How will you come to know what is the phrase library? We started with that yesterday. How do you know that which library you have to use?
First 4 digits.
Where? Where first 4 digits you have to check, or characters? Not digits actually. Digits means numbers. Which 4 letters? Where? This P100?
Yes, this
No, not here. You have to go to the list of phrases. Okay, under advice, you see all these are phrases. Here on the left hand side, you have a phrase key. So in this phrase key, the first 4 letters will be your library. Not anywhere. The first 4 letters from your phrase key will give you the library name. Yeah, that is what we have done here. I have entered the phrase library name as CUST, customer phrase library. So after knowing this, what else do you want? What else do you have to know?
Phrase group.
Phrase group. How will you find out the phrase group?
Maybe that means the number after that 4 digit before the characters.
No, that is not a phrase group, because see there are different here. We have number 7, we have H07, we have number 4, number 6. There are so many different, combination of letters here. It's not this.
With the help of phrase text, we can find out the phrase group, no, sir. It's
You
related to that.
not from the phrase text, you mean this?
Yes, sir.
No, not even this. It is like a sentence. No, what is that sentence telling me? See, in order to find out the phrase group, first you have to go to the library, right? At least we know what is the library. So what I'll do now, I will go to that particular library called cust. How should I go to that phrase library section? Can you guide me here? How to go to library?
through SPRO.
Yeah, SPRO, then
SAP
SAP
reference
hmm,
EHS.
Environment and Health Safety,
okay.
Basic Data and Tools,
Hmm,
Phrase management.
Phrase Management,
okay.
Specify phrase libraries and phrase groups.
Specify phrase libraries and phrase groups. Okay. So here, which library should I select to search the phrase group?
First, position,
CUST. Yeah. No, no need to use position. Directly I can see here. It is just the second one. So I can simply click on that row, select that row. Okay. This is the library. And how to search the phrase group?
first we have to select that first and then click phrase group.
Yeah, we have to double click on phrase group. So now we are inside this customer phrase library and I can see all these are different phrase groups. Now, searching a phrase group is not actually easy, but what you have to do is just apply some logic, because here we are assigning some phrases to advise on safe handling, right? We have to enter the data for advise on safe handling. And where is this advise on safe handling coming? Advise on safe handling is actually part of your handling and storage. Under handling and storage, you have got this advise on safe handling. So therefore, what you have to do, you have to select, go and search where you find this matching words, handling and storage at least. You have to go and search manually. You have to check out. You have to read. So once I am inside the phrase library, when I am going through the phrase groups, I can see that there are different phrase groups here. Hazards identification, first aid measures, firefighting measures, like that. When I read, I come across one of the phrase group description called as handling and storage. Now this description is perfectly matching with my specification data here that I want to create or assign. If I just compare it, I can immediately see that it is related to handling and storage. So this is what is the actual name of the phrase group. So therefore, this is the phrase group that I want to use. The phrase group is 07.00. Okay, this is the phrase group name. This is the description. Handling and storage is a description and this is the phrase group name. So what you have to do, just make a note. Make a note here, 07.00 is your phrase group name. Okay, we got to know this. Next, we have to also know the phrase set. How will I know the phrase set name?
When we connect the phrase text with the phrase set, we can.
Yeah, but without knowing the phrase set name, how can I connect? Are you getting me? See, now we have phrase library, I know, phrase group, I know. But when I'm creating the phrase, I should also know the phrase set, no? Without knowing the phrase set, I will not be able to actually connect them. I will not be able to connect the phrase with the phrase set. So I have to know even that. So how to find out? The phrase set can be actually found again in your specification itself. If you go to the list of phrases, okay, here you can know where is the phrase set. So if you observe at the top side here, if you look at the above, whatever you have here in the bracket after advice is your phrase set name. Okay, so what do you have here? SAP underscore EHS underscore 1016 underscore 017 underscore advice. This is your phrase set name. You don't have to look around in other places. It is very easy. In your list of phrases only you can come to know. This is your phrase set. So just make a note whatever is given in the brackets. For example, we have SAP underscore EHS underscore 016, I think. Let me check. 1016017. 1016017 underscore advice. Okay, this is the phrase set name. So we have all the three unknown variables. I know the library name, I know the phrase group name, and also the phrase set. So what will be my phrase name now? What is the phrase name? Because this is something new we are going to create, you can give any name you want, no problem. For example, I can give any name like HS underscore 01 or any name, no problem. Why? Because this is the phrase that I am going to create, that is a new phrase. We don't have it already. Here library was already there, so I have to find out what is the phrase group name, and also I had to find out the already existing phrase set. But because the phrase is something new that I am going to create, I have to give a name. I can give any name like this. HS01 for example. And along with that also make a note like what text you are going to create under that phrase. We have to also write text, no? So what text shall we write? Do not store flammable liquids and explosive material together. Right? Let's say this is the phrase I want to create and I want to use it in the specification. Because I don't have that option here. If I go and read it, I don't have any phrase like that. Do not store flammable liquids and explosive material together. I don't have any such phrase. Therefore, I want to create that. Right? Okay, so now we have all the four data objects which are required for us to create a custom phrase. We know the library name, phrase group name, phrase set name, and exactly what phrase I am going to create. Now, what is the next step? Where should I go and what shall we do? What should I do now? Next step.
Maybe it can be added through SPRO.
No, I have to go and create the phrase. That is what we are trying to do here. I have to create this phrase. No, simply I have written here, but if I don't create, then I have to create.
First
So
go
to
to
create a
phrase
phrase,
library.
hmm?
First go to phrase library.
No, tell me one thing. How to create a phrase? Phrase कैसे create करने का?
So for that we have as a transaction code of CG12.
We have to use CG12. Why will you go to SPRO, Suma?
Oh, yes.
Hmm? Yeah, if you want to create a library, fine, go to the SPRO. If you want to create a phrase group, go and create. But already they are there, no? Already वो बना हुआ है. It's already there. So why will you go to SPRO? It's not required. So directly you have to go and create the phrase and not any library, or you don't have to go to SPRO. So therefore go to CG12 transaction code, enter. That will take you to the initial screen where you can create a phrase. So click on create button. Okay, and what is the library name I have to use?
CUST.
Yeah, CUST, customer phrase library. This is the library name. So it is as it is. I don't have to change. Here also we have CUST. And what will be the phrase name I told? The phrase name which I have written, which I am going to create, is HS_01. This is my phrase name. So again come back here, enter that phrase name HS_01. Next, what is the phrase group name? The phrase group under which my phrase will exist is 07.00. This is my phrase group name. So again come back, go to your create phrase and put there 07.00 handling and storage. See, immediately it is showing 07 is actually the phrase group for handling and storage. So select that, and after that come down to phrase text, and I'm actually planning to create this phrase text. Do not store flammable liquids and explosive material together. So again go back and enter that phrase text. Do not store flammable liquids and explosive material together, right? So okay, this is my phrase text. What is next step?
We have to save it and then we will link it with the phrase set.
Yeah, click on save and then go to phrase set. So what phrase set should I use?
The one we noted down means the SAP EHS.
Yeah, this phrase set, SAP EHS 1016017 advice. So just copy that and you can add it here in the phrase. Here. You can add here, enter. So there is no problem. This is the correct phrase set. Now save the data. Yeah, so this much is done. Now if I go back, I can see that my new phrase, whatever I was planning to create, it has been created. This is my new phrase or custom phrase. So what do you think? Immediately it will appear in my specification. यहाँ पे immediately आ जाएगा वो phrase, or should I do something?
It should immediately means reflect.
Okay, let's see if that is true or not. I don't think, because I created that in capital letters. No, I don't find any phrase in capitals.
We have to do refresh.
We have to refresh. How will you refresh?
We have to refresh the property tree, I think.
Then it will come.
Maybe.
Okay, as far as now I can see, we don't have that phrase. Yeah, this is some other, I had only created, but this is some other phrase, right? See, this phrase name is safe_01. I had created in some other class. But what we created today, I still don't see that. Maybe it is not there because we have to refresh it once. So like you suggested me, I will go and refresh the property tree once. Okay, refresh the property tree. Now what happens? Let me go and check if that phrase is available or not available. I don't know. We have to check that. Again, I don't see that phrase in the initial part. Yeah, it's still not coming. Yeah, not there. Still not yet available. So when you find such a thing happening, what you do is again completely go back to the main screen and again try to come into that specification workbench. Because sometimes even though we refresh the property tree, the changes will not take effect. You have to again go back, completely reset and then come back. Now if you go and check out, let's see. Okay. Handling and storage I told no. Go to handling and storage. Advise on safe handling. We are in the display mode, so go to the edit mode. Let's check now. Go to advise. Yeah, see immediately I can see that new phrase HS underscore 01, and see this is the phrase I created. It is a custom phrase. Do not store flammable liquids and explosive material together. This is what I created. Now if I double click, I will be able to assign the data. I just have to double click and then I can save it. And if you refresh, that whatever data I have selected now, that will be again assigned here. It's a manually assigned data. Right? So we have created one custom phrase. Like that, if you want, you can create any number. You can create 3 or 10 or 15, as many as you want, no problem. Because sometimes you may need to create more than one. Here as an example I said one, but quite possible that sometimes 3 you may have to create or 4 you may have to create. Again, that is possible. So what you have to do, just keep on adding. Now again, let's say I want to create one more. I will put it here HS underscore 02 and I will give some other text here. Use only flame or spark proof. Use only spark proof lights, spark proof lights in the chemical storage area. Okay, just as an example I am saying. Okay, this is my, I want to create one more phrase and this is HS02, use only spark proof lights in the chemical storage area. So how should I create now again? Tell me, what should I do now?
If the phrase library group where state is same, then we can go to directly to the CG12 and add this.
I want this phrase there only at the same place, not in some other phrase group. At the same place. Among the same options I want.
So, go to CG12.
We are already in CG12. Okay, fine, no problem. Let's go back and go to CG12.
Create. Directly we can create sir, from there only.
How?
Okay, click on create.
Click on create.
The library means we don't have to change. We have to select the phrase group now. 0700.
Yes, 07 I'll select. This is the phrase group. Okay, then
means we have to also assign the phrase name as HS02 underscore.
HS underscore 02. Okay.
Then the phrase text.
Go to phrase text and here you can say use only spark proof lights in the chemical storage area. Okay, this is the new phrase I want to use. So add that. Next, click on save. Go to phrase set and assign again the same phrase set, because even this is not going to change, even this is same. Okay, it is also not going to change. But tell me one thing, okay, here I have another doubt. What if I want this particular HS02 phrase to come under storage stability? Then what? See, here I created one phrase, customized phrase, and I have assigned it. It is done. The second phrase which I am creating, let's say I want that phrase to appear here, maybe in the mixed storage. I want that phrase to come in the mixed storage. So what should I change, or how will it come here? Should I change the phrase library name? Should I change the phrase group name? Or should I change the phrase set name? What should I change?
Phrase set name.
Yes, Shoma?
The phrase set name.
Very good. Excellent. We have to change the phrase set name. You don't have to change the phrase library, because we already know it is in the same phrase library. No need to change. Phrase group also, by the way, we are still in the handling and storage itself. Under this particular handling and storage only, I have went to mixed storage. So no need to change even your phrase group. The phrase group name is again 07 itself. So the only thing that is changing from your advice on safe handling, okay, let me show that. The only thing which is changing is your phrase set name. See, here it is SAP EHS 1016017 advice. Let's go to the mixed storage. See, here it is a different one. SAP underscore EHS underscore 1021 underscore 002 underscore advice. It is incomplete actually, maybe because it is too lengthy, it has got attenuated. So if there is incomplete phrase set, then how will you come to know? How can you find out? I will tell that, don't worry. Now, if you do the comparison, see, this is a completely different phrase set compared to what we used earlier. Earlier we used this 1016017, but here it is something new. What we have here is, where is that? What we have here is SAP HS 1021 underscore 002 underscore advice. Okay, so just make a note of this. This is a new phrase set. So if I am creating a phrase in another part of your value assignment type, let's say if I am creating a new phrase in another VAT, so I have to change the phrase set. No need to change library and group. I have to only change the phrase set. Right? So just make a note 1021002. I will write somewhere here. SAP EHS 1021-002, and I think most probably it is advice. But here it is incomplete, no? It is not showing the complete name. Somehow it got short. It's not complete. So if you get something like that, incomplete phrase set name, then how will you find out the complete name? Do you know how to do this? Because here I don't know whether it is advance or advise or adjustment. It is only showing AD, but I don't know after that what we have. Or adjacent, adverb, I don't know. This is incomplete. So what we have to do again, you have to use logic. Okay, you have to go to another transaction code. What is the transaction code to create a phrase set?
CG1B.
CG1B. So go to CG1B. Here, you know what I'll do? I will just, whatever incomplete phrase set I know, right? I will just copy that, because it was only SAP EHS 1021002 AD, add. it was only this much. So just copy whatever you have, come back to your phrase set section, enter that incomplete phrase set name, add a star. Add a star. Just like how we search specifications using star, add a star at the end. Now if you press enter, see, we got the complete phrase set name. It is in fact advice, not adjacent, not advertisement. It is advice. Like that you have to find out. Sometimes because of the length, the phrase set name will be incomplete, but don't worry. You can come to the CG 1B transaction code and there you can search that incomplete phrase set name only you put, add a star at the end and you can search. So this is your phrase set name. Okay, so that one phrase set name I have to change. Everything else remains as it is. Okay, so now what? Now go back to your phrase here. This is HS02. Go to the phrase set and add that SAP underscore EHS underscore 1021, is it?
Yes, 1021.
1021002 underscore advice. Okay, now you can save this phrase, the second phrase which we have created, and you can go and check it out again. All you have to do is refresh it. So just go back, exit from this section and again go to CG02BD, open any specification, then go to 7th, handling and storage. And now where should I find the second phrase? Where did I create that? Where it should appear? Should it come here on advice or it should come somewhere else?
Mixed storage
storage.
jungle.
Mixed storage, yeah. Here I want to see that new phrase. Second phrase should come here. Okay, let's see if it is coming or not. Yeah, okay. See here, the very next phrase is HS02, use only spark proof lights in the chemical storage area. It's coming where I want that phrase to come. And how the system knows where it has to display, it will depend on which phrase set I am actually assigning. If we don't have the phrase set, then where it will come? I mean, there are different sections here, no? See, I will assign this data. Okay. I have assigned the data. Now this data is coming under mixed storage. And where is mixed storage coming? Mixed storage is coming in handling and storage. So within handling and storage, if you want to assign different phrases in different value assignment types, you have to use different phrase sets. Otherwise, you cannot differentiate. You cannot put different phrases in different value assignment types. It will not be possible. That is the use of a phrase set. That is why we use the phrase set. Just imagine now, if you don't have a phrase set, where that new phrase will come? The system don't know where it will display. Maybe it will display all phrases here only in the first one. But I want to see the new phrase somewhere below in another value assignment type. So therefore, to differentiate between one normal value assignment and another normal value assignment, we use different phrase sets. Got it? We created two new phrases, custom phrases. One is appearing here in the advice on safe handling. Another I have displayed under mixed storage. Right? This is your custom phrase.
How can we, sir, modify the existing phrase text? For example, there is a phrase and I have modified the text of that phrase. So
Okay.
is it, or do I have to create a different phrase?
No, you don't have to create another phrase. Just find the phrase name. Like for example, here it is saying keep away from combustible material. And what is the phrase key? This is the phrase key, right? So just copy that phrase key. Again go to CG12 itself. Where is that? Yeah, phrase. Okay, see now what I'll do is I will just enter that phrase key. Where is the phrase key? Is it phrase text it is showing? Let me add here. Okay, it is saying no data object. Okay, let me search like this. Phrase library is fine. I think this complete phrase key is not coming. Okay, maybe what I'll do, I will just copy the entire phrase text and then I will search it. Okay, I think that also we can do. Select the entire phrase text. Enter the phrase text here. Search. Okay, actually there are two same kind of phrases are there. One is in handling and storage, another in regulatory information. So the phrase that you want me to change is this, the one appearing in the handling and storage, right? So double click on that, and whatever you want to change, let's say keep away from combustible material, keep away from combustible material to avoid fire incidents. Just as an example, let's say I will add the phrase text like this and again save the data. Nothing else. I just have to go search that phrase, go inside that phrase, double click on that, and whatever phrase text you want to create or you want to modify that and save the data. So now what will happen here? If you go back to your specification, that is here, I have to refresh again because I have made some changes. CG02BD. So it is again in handling and storage itself. And here I think, no, mixed storage. Okay, see this? Has it changed?
Yeah.
So earlier it was only keep away from combustible material. But what I did, I opened that particular phrase and I added to avoid fire incidents. Like that you can change, you can modify.
Oh.
Right, got it now? And then you can save this data just like before. Yeah, clear? So create this.
Yeah.
Create all the 4 data objects because only one of you has created, not everybody. Please, all of you try this. Create all the 4 data objects in your phrase management, from library to phrase group to phrase set and phrases, and also try this custom phrase, which I am sure by now you have completely understood and you should be able to create this. Right? So this is again, assignment is pending. Please complete this and you can share with me. Now apart from that, okay, any other doubt guys? Is it clear? Anything else? Any other doubt? No? Fine. Now there are few other things you have to know. It's mostly theory. I mean, it's not that important. But still, let me tell you few other things are there. First one is called as a report definition. Okay. First one is called as a report definition. So how do you define a report? They have given one full form or a definition for this. What is report definition? It is a process. This process enables you to output data. This process enables you to output data from specification database and other SAP components and graphic symbols on reports. So what is the definition of a report? It is a process that enables you to output the data from specification database and other SAP components. And if you want, you can also display the symbols. On a report, you can display the symbols also. So that is the proper definition for a report. And don't think we can generate reports only for the specifications. We can also generate the reports for incident accident reporting or injury illness report. Even those are kind of reports. So that is why they are saying we can output the data not only from specification database but also other SAP components like industrial hygiene and safety or product safety or maybe even waste management. You can generate reports even in the other applications, including your occupational health. Because in occupational health, we have seen how to generate a injury illness report. So that is also one type of report. Not only that, if required, you can also display the graphical symbols also on the report. And in our SAP EHS, actually, there are three kinds of reports. Especially when it comes to specification management, there are three types of reports. One report is called as reports with reference to a specification. Reports with reference to a specification. Second type of a report is called reports without reference to a specification. Okay, and the third one is reports with or without reference to a specification. Okay, these are the three types. In this, what is the meaning of first type of report? Reports with reference to specification means what? Reports with reference to a specification means in this report, the data actually comes from the specification management. So when you generate these kind of EHS reports, the main data that is there in the report comes from specification database. Can you give me one example of a report where the data comes from specification database?
MSDS.
Yeah, exactly. MSDS is one example of a EHS report where that report contains data from the specification database. Or it can even be a compliance report, REACH compliance report. Even that, data comes from your specification database. So it can be MSDS or REACH compliance report. It can be two examples, MSDS, REACH compliance report. Now the second type of report is reports without reference to specification. The second type of report is reports without reference to a specification. So what happens here?
Appointment invitation. Medical appointment invitation.
Okay, but what is the meaning of this? Reports without reference to specification means what?
Means there is no any particular specification linked to that report.
Yeah, exactly. So these are the EHS reports where you don't take the data from specification database and you put it into this report. That is why they are saying without reference to specification. Are there any such reports in EHS where you don't need the data from specification? We have some examples like incident or accident report, or it can be even injury illness report. Why I am giving these two examples? Do you have any specification data in the injury illness report? At least this you have seen. Injury illness report. Did you find anything related to specification in this report? So there is no connection between the specification database and your injury illness report. We don't use any data from specifications. Same thing in the incident accident report also, we don't use any data from the specification database, because what contains in the incident accident report, it contains what type of incident it is, on which date it happened, where it happened, at what time it happened, who are the people that got involved in that accident, okay, what was the nature of the accident. We can also perform the investigation, we can implement the control measures. All that information will be there in the incident accident report. But where is specification data? There is no specification data. That is why they say that these are the reports without reference to a specification. But there is also a third type, reports with / without reference to a specification. What does it mean? They are saying both, with as well as without. What is the meaning of this? See, here on a case-to-case basis, sometimes the report will contain specification data and sometimes it does not contain the specification data. Okay, same report, sometimes it will contain depending on the scenario, but other times it will not contain the specification data. Can you give any example for this? Sometimes you need the specification data in that report, sometimes you don't need. Like that it is. Okay, let me give you two examples. First one is standard operating procedure, SOP. Standard operating procedure. What is standard operating procedure? What do you mean by this SOP? Is this a safety document, SOP?
Yes, sir, it is.
How will you define this?
It is a detailed document, that contains the procedure to do work in a standard and safe way.
Yeah. So how to perform any work or task in a safe manner. Okay, for example, let's say you want to operate a diesel generator. Okay, that is the job. Now, there are some hazards even while you are operating a diesel generator. So what you should do, you should follow some instructions, safety instructions, so that you can safely operate. So we have to prepare a SOP regarding how to use a diesel generator. I'm just giving example, it can be anything else. It can be an air compressor or it can be any other machine. But when you are operating that machine, some safety precautions you have to take. So that will be given in the SOP. But why I am giving this example here? SOP example. When I create a SOP for operating diesel generator, do you think there are some specification related data in that?
Diesel itself is a specification.
Diesel, okay, but that is not an inherent part of your diesel generator. See, I'm speaking about how to operate. I'm not telling you how to fill the diesel generator with the diesel, not like that. I'm just creating a SOP how to operate, what button to press, and before you press that button, what to check. Those things I'm saying.
Like MSDS for this kind of instrumental, we will get like catalog, sir. So
Yeah,
in that it will
catalog
make.
you will get catalog, or we can say SOP, both are fine. But that is only related to how to operate. See, when you purchase a mobile phone, you will get a user manual. When you want to operate your washing machine, you will get a user manual. So for those kind of machines, do you really need specification data? It's not required. Though it is a EHS document, still you don't need. Okay, now imagine I am creating a SOP for handling chemicals. How to handle the chemicals in a lab. Okay, what precautions you have to take. Related to that, I am creating a SOP. I can create no problem, right? I can create a SOP how to handle chemicals. So in this example, do you think we have data from specification? I am creating two SOP. One SOP how to operate the diesel generator. Another SOP I am creating how to handle the chemicals. Which one will contain specification data? Which will not contain specification data? It's very easy, guys.
SOP for chemical handling will
Yeah.
contain the specific data.
Yes.
Uh, for example, MSDS it will contain because we are handling the
Yeah. At least it should
dangerous.
contain what kind of PPs you have to wear, apron you have to wear.
Mhm.
There should be a ventilation system provided. There should be a fire extinguisher on standby mode. Yeah, when you are handling chemical. If there is any exposure to chemical, what you have to do immediately. Like that, at least important points you have to put in the SOP. And these points you are taking from the specification and you are adding. But another SOP which I told you regarding operating the diesel generator, I don't have to use any specification data. So the document is same, document is SOP. But in one example, I am using the data from specification. In another case, I am not using the data from specification. That is why they call reports with or without reference to specification. Okay, one more example. You know labels. Label is also, by the way, it is also a part of your SAP. It is also a kind of report in SAP. Label may be very small in size or it may contain only limited data, but still SAP considers label also to be a kind of report. So there are two type of labels. I will give you two examples. One label is called address label. If you want to, send any package to a customer, you have to display the name and address of that customer and telephone number. So we call that as an address label. But there is another label called as dangerous goods label or hazardous substance label. Okay, these are two different types of labels. Now tell me which label will contain the specification data, which will not contain the data.
Address label will not contain the specification data.
Yes, exactly, because it only contains address of that customer and name of that customer. Where is the question of adding specification data and all? Not required. The name itself is an address label. Same way, when you have a dangerous goods label, it contains some information about that chemical, like what is the hazard rating, okay, and what is the nature of that particular material, whether flammable or explosive, and also symbols also you can include in that label. So this data, basically some part of the data we have to take from the specification management, no doubt. So therefore label is that another example which I am trying to give, where from time to time, sometimes it will contain the data from specification and at other times it will not contain. Okay, case to case basis. That is why I tell it as case to case basis. I can give you a lot of such example, including investigation report. Okay, investigation report. Why? Because when you are doing any investigation related to any incident, you may have to also, look at the chemicals. If the accident involves chemicals, then you have to put in your investigation report what type of chemical it is, what is the nature of that chemical. So that kind of information you have to include. And that same investigation report is related to, let's say, fall from height. You don't have to include any specification data. So there are many such examples in the third category of reports where sometimes you need specification data, sometimes you don't need. So these are the three types. These are the three types in your SAP EHS. Okay guys, clear? So please go through these. The main thing is you have to know about specification management and phrase management, but few other theoretical concepts were there. In that, report definition is important. But again, you can read the document which I have shared. There are few other things you can read it, but not so much important. Okay, clear so far? So I think another 2 minutes we have. Please let me know if you have any doubts, any questions regarding this, what we have discussed today, before we wind up.
How these reports will generate, and from where we can generate this report?
It is generated in the product safety. When I take a product safety, I'll tell you. There is something called as WWI. There they design the reports and you can generate it from the WWI itself. But there is another place where you can generate. I don't know if I have shown you or what, I don't remember. But see, let's say you want to generate a MSDS report for this 168 or maybe for acetone. So what we can do, right click on that specification and you can go to, there is one option called reports, go to report from template. Okay, then select a generation variant. What is a generation variant? I will just tell you very shortly. Generation variant means it is a function which allows only a particular data to be included in the report. It controls the data, what data has to go into the report. So if you want to generate a MSDS report, select the generation variant which has the name MSDS. There are many generation variants with that name. So any MSDS related generation variant you can select, for example like this. Okay, then click on display. And then what you can do is you can add some additional data, like what is the report version number you are trying to generate. By the way, this is just a sample report, not the actual report. Add the report revision version number, the generation date also you can put, let's say today's date. Okay, you can maintain the company name, company address and all here below, and then click on transfer. So what happens, a sample report will be generated. You have to click allow whenever you get this